Nothing happens until a sale is made. Such a true statement. It's a statement that I learned from my good friend, multi-billionaire with 47 successful companies and zero failures, Errol Abramson. He said it best. Let me say it to you again. Nothing happens until a sale is made. The thing about it is, has anybody ever explained to you why? Because today I will. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister. I have hair in my face. I'm an international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. I have had the amazingly wonderful privilege of working with almost 5,000 authors, as well as many other people over the course of the last 40 years as a sales and marketing expert. And I've worked with, as I said, Errol, multi-billionaires, stay-at-home moms, uh, Olympic athletes, doctors, lawyers, nurses, people you've never heard of, and absolutely people that have changed the game in this world with what they're doing. Every single one of them, absolute world changers in everything that they do. And like I said, some of them you've heard of, some of them you haven't. But one thing is universally true with every single last one of them, and that is that nothing happens until a sale is made. I got into a great debate one time with somebody about this. I hadn't intended for it to be a debate. It was one of those posts where it's like, which do you think is more important, sales or marketing? And technically, the answer to that, for anybody that's really wondering, is you really need both. Okay, but if you had to pick one, you got to sell. Nothing happens until a sale is made. And I said that, and I said it pretty matter of factly, just kind of like I just did now. And this person went off. They're like, I'm not marketing. And I'm like, yeah, but at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't, if there isn't a process for you to give your money for the thing, you to give your email address for the free giveaway, whatever that might be, without that, nothing happens. You can have the most incredible landing page in the entire freaking world. And if there isn't a button at the bottom of it that says, yes, I want in, or whatever the button says, and then if you click on that and it takes you nowhere, best marketing in the world does nothing for you. You could create, and this is part of where I run into problems with people when I start talking, between sales and marketers and stuff. And even though I've been in the marketing industry and sales, I was a sales manager at 19 and did selling all through high school as well. So I've done it for a few years. I'll be 59 here in less than a month now. So, yeah, long time, right? Geez, you're old. But I mean, seriously, here's the thing. Somebody has to simply ask you the basic question of, would you like fries with that? Somebody has to be the one to say, we don't have Coca-Cola. Is Pepsi okay? For some people, that's an adamant, absolute no. Okay? And if you just assume it and you bring somebody that is a very anti-Pepsi person, and it seems to be more along the lines of Coca-Cola people that are very, hey, Arthur, glad to have you here with us, and biased, glad to have you here too. They can be very militant about those kind of things. And so if you just brought a Pepsi to somebody who's really strongly a Coke person, you might get the Pepsi thrown on you. I mean, hope not. But people can, just be that very adamant. So without that one little question, it leads from great customer service and a closing of a sale to nothing. I mean, what if, you're sitting in a restaurant, you order your food, and they're like, what would you like to drink? Or, usually you order your drinks first, and you say, I'd like to have a Coke. And if, because they don't sell Coke there, the person just brings you nothing. And you're kind of sitting there, they bring everybody else their drinks, and this person has coffee and that person just has water and blah, blah, blah. And they bring you nothing. Right? Frustration at the least, anger probably, maybe even. Okay? Because the person didn't ask the simple question, we don't have Coke, would Pepsi be okay? Nothing happens until a sale is made. Now, what is the basis of sales? Is it talent? Is it, oh, wow, these people are just so massively more talented than I am? No. Is it luck? Is it, just some kind of special four-leaf clover in the pocket of this person, like say, for example, over Black Friday weekend, somebody that made hundreds of thousands of dollars versus the person whose campaign completely failed? Is it because, they've got the horseshoe and they rubbed it the right way? You know, they caught the, and I realize I'm mixing my season metaphors here, but they caught the leprechaun and now they have the pot of gold. No, it's not luck. Is it because they're better? They have learned some kind of magical marketing trick that if only you either knew it, or worse yet, and this is the problem with most of these people selling their marketing tricks. If you could afford the tens of thousands of dollars monthly, that their special secret that you have to pay up front because trust me, it's worked with so many other people. I'm not saying that people aren't worth being hired. I'm saying, brand new enter into a relationship with somebody and we hop right straight to 10, 50, 20, 100 million, $1 million versus starting off with something to get to know them. That's why my basic, what I call tier 1 book marketing package is $3,000. Anybody that's talked to me, they know that. But that's why I specifically, at the beginning of this month, went back and reinvented the wheel and created a $500 program for you. Because I know sometimes we need to, not even date. We need to just internet stalk each other for a little bit. We need to get to know each other. See the impact that $500 can make for you. But at the end of the day, if I don't specifically ask you if you would like to have more visibility for your book and you'd like to see it happen right now, this week, this month, if you'd like something that can do that, then I invite you, drop the words DM, the words, whichever, comment, DM, the words amplify review. Now, if you don't remember both of those, put in amplify, put in review, just say, hey, Steve, help me. Okay. Willie Jones. So glad to have Willie J here with me today. So glad to have you here with us. It's just that simple. It's just that basic. You have got to ask the person for the question. And so, yeah, absolutely. I'm asking you straight up. If you want your book to be visible, you need to do some basic things to it. Now, I don't mind hopping on a call with you and giving you 2 or 3 free tricks. Spend 10, 15 minutes with you and you can go. And that's where I always want to start the relationship. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to suggest that you want to do at least the $500 and probably more like the $3,000 thing. And I'm going to do it because today we're talking about the fact that nothing happens until a sale is made. And so I'm inviting you want to buy that thing. Okay? Because we may not like to be sold to, but all of us love buying things. And it's Christmas season, right? We are here to be able to celebrate one of the most blessed, wonderful seasons of the year. And we're here to be able to buy people things. And we're here to get some really cool stuff for ourselves too. Now is your time to be visible and valuable. There is a ton of time. It's the beginning of December. You can put your book in a place where it can pop up. Speaking of Willie J and I, we were having a discussion, I guess that was yesterday, or no, that was day before yesterday. The truth of the matter is that we were talking about when's the best time to do the next launch of his next single. Another cool single coming out, guys. It's going to hit #1 on the charts again, like Couldn't Imagine did. And you get to be part of it. And we were talking about, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Think about Christmas. Okay. Now, this is why you're going to want your book to be valuable and we are visible so that it can be valuable. And we're going to do a promotion over Christmas, just like we did over Thanksgiving. Okay. Christmas is whatever day of the week it is. I want to say it's a Thursday too, but don't quote me on that. We do know it's the 25th, right? You know, we're going to do that same promotion. We made 50 people bestsellers over Thanksgiving weekend, Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday. 50 people made books. And we've done it for several years running now. Okay. And we did that same number, approximately 50-ish. I think it was actually more like 60 over Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. And we're going to do the same thing between Christmas and New Year's. Make more books bestsellers. We're even going to open it up over the Christmas holiday. Your book can be for free or for 99 cents. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you want your book to be 99 cents, you need some visibility. Because without that visibility, without knowing the things like reviews and SEO and those things that make your book visible, you can drop your book to 99 cents and it'll just be a 99-cent hole in the ground. It won't do you any good. Okay. Now, like I said, I've made probably more than really, if I stopped and counted it, 5,000 people bestsellers. I know that program. In fact, anybody that you know that's out there, because everybody's talking bestseller these days, anybody that you run into that's doing that, they're using my system and they've never heard of me. It's just the harsh reality of me not having marketed myself, because nothing happens until a sale is made. And I didn't make enough noise to make enough sales that you're like, oh yeah, when you think about bestseller, you think Steve Kidd. You should. But I didn't market myself properly. I didn't give myself the visibility. I'm going live every day and doing the things with my book, like bestseller is only the beginning, which when I looked at it yesterday was number 3 in one category and was in the top 50 in another one. And Willie J and I have a book that's in that same category, that's number 5 in that category. And it's also in the top 50 in its other category. And Willie J's latest book, Never Stop Winning 2.0, it's ranking amazingly in a couple of categories as well. And we're doing all of these things, okay? And Willie's going to bring out his next song on Christmas Day, because think about Christmas for a minute. You get up, you open the presents, you do the lunch or the whatever. Now, maybe it used to be back in the day, Christmas was the best day to go to the movies. Nobody went to the movies. There was maybe sometimes a few people who didn't celebrate Christmas there, but it used to always go to the movies on Christmas, especially like that 11 o'clock-ish, 10, 11, whatever that earliest showing of the movie was, because some people would come straggling in later in the day. Okay. But that early showing, you could often have the theater totally to yourself. And they were okay with it because they needed to open up and get everything all ready, because they knew that like the 6 and 7 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock showings were going to be slammed with people. And so they were really actually kind of grateful for, it being slow. Great time. Not so true anymore. A lot of people have discovered this, probably because I've done too many lives talking about that. But really, after you open those presents, after you have lunch, what do you do the rest of the afternoon? Yeah, you can nap, but you're not going to sleep all day. Yes, I know that the Chiefs are playing Denver on Christmas Day this year. Okay. If you watched the Chiefs play last night, you may not be as excited to see that game as you might have been in years past. I'm just saying. Sorry, Chiefs, but yeah. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. But it's a great time. People are going to be, and even if you're watching the game, you kind of scroll through, you're looking at things. Great time to be able to give people books that can change their life. Songs like Willie's next song is going to be, that can radically do some amazing things. Such a great time to promote. And I invite you to come join us. If you want to be part of that, you can direct message me and say, hey, I want to be part of that promotion. I am in. Okay. And let's do it with you. Absolutely. But you got to have that visibility in order to make it work. And we can show you exactly how to be visible so that you can fix your SEO, fix your rankings, fix your SEO is basically your description, keywords, categories. And I've looked at so many books. Some of them are really, really doing amazingly well. And their SEO is just a total wreck. I appreciate you too, Willie J. I'm so glad to have you here with us. Missed you while you were gone enjoying Pensacola. So happy for you. Jealous as heck too, but so glad to have you here with us. You need to have things set. Now is the time. People are going to spend money. I don't care what you want to look at with the economy, any of those other kinds of things. People are going to spend money this entire month, all the way through to the end of the year. Okay. You're going to be, straggling over into January, the first couple of days of January. And I don't care what the economy is doing. Now, I'm talking about in the U.S., okay? I realize there are some other countries that are really struggling. And I realize that our dear friends, if you didn't see it, please go back and watch the video that Willie J and Aaron and I did with Elvis from Jamaica. Correct me if I'm wrong, if it's not Jamaica, but I believe, because they are really hurting. That last hurricane really, really took that country out. And while we're celebrating, while we're buying gifts, while we're doing things, even if it's $5, even if it means you skip one coffee and you send them $5, absolutely can make a night and day difference for people who literally, many of them don't have running water. They don't have any facilities inside their house. Some of them are struggling for food. There's a lot of really awful things going on. So yes, this is the season of giving. This is the season where people are going to spend money. Help those that are in need and position yourself to give that incredibly cool thing that you do in the world, because you do make a difference in this world. Position it to be in a place where the people who need your help can find you. Because if they can't find you, they can't buy the thing. If they can't hear from you, they can't hear you say, would you like fries with that? Whatever that amazingly cool thing it is that you say, you need to be visible so that you can have that valuability. Because you want to build their trust so that when you say, hey, I've got an offer for you, they're like, I really trust this guy. I'd like to hear more what he's saying. When you understand the truth of this, your whole business is going to change. Because when trust rises, sales follow every single time. So let's work on your trust. Let's work on you being visible, valuable, known, liked, and trusted. Let's do that this month, and let's make this December 2025. And if you're listening on the replay and it's the middle of April of 2027 or whatever, whenever you're listening is exactly the right time for you to hear this message. And let's make it the time where you become known, liked, and trust. Right? All right. I'm so grateful for you. Thanks for being here with me today. I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved, even if it is cold outside. And until we're together again next time, tomorrow we're going to look behind the scenes about how real visibility actually works. I want to share with you some really cool pictures that I've gotten in just recently from a couple of our authors who, and in fact, I'm working on a press release that I'll probably send out today or tomorrow for them. And we're going to talk in more detail about this, but they're actually getting their books in schools, in children's hospitals, doing things like that. There are some incredible ways you can be visible and make a real difference in this world. And we're going to look at that tomorrow. And until we're together again next time, which is tomorrow, I hope you have a great week.